More 94 is a registered trademark of More FM Company Limited, a Bahamian company heard in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and surrounding areas. On the web at www.more94fm.com and on your digital cable system, channel 950. We are More 94, the Bahamas Superstation.
The thoughts, views, and opinions of SLYTalk are strictly those of the host and guest, and not necessarily those of the management and owners of More 94 FM. This is SLYTalk.
Want to ask a question or contribute to today's show? The numbers to dial are 341-6673 or toll free 1-242-300-6673. WhatsApp a message at 816-8187. More entertainment is definitely here on More 94.9. I am your girl Sly. Thanks for hanging in with us. It's always a good time to have you dropping in on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. If you missed last week's show, drop in to our YouTube channel to catch all of our previous episodes, including this one. The handle is SLYTalk. That's SLYTalk, all one word. And last week's topic was forgiving chronic cheaters. Why people consistently forgive time after time after time again instead of walking away from a situation that obviously will never change. If you missed it, shame on you. Get over there and listen to it. Today's show is sponsored by the Giggle House. The Giggle House provides day and evening care for potty trained kids, 3 to 15. For most moments when you just need a break or you want to go out with hubby or your favorite guy, whichever. They also have after pickup services, after school pickup. Give them a call. The number is 816-8171. Or you can head on over to their Facebook page, that's the Giggle House, to learn how to sign up for a romantic evening with your man or leading lady without the kids. SLYTalk encourages you to join in as a couple. Sometimes listening together and identifying with other people's views is all that's needed to curb a bad situation. If he or she is not next to you or cannot be with you during this episode of SLYTalk, give them a ring and send them a text message and get them tuned in. For those of you that are chilling with the boo today, get those wine glasses chilled or hop in the car for that mid-afternoon drive. And let's start the show. On panel today, we have a full house. We have Terrio.
Hey.
What's up? We also have our girl Annie. She's hanging with us, married.
Hello.
We have Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hey.
Also, Cece is hanging with us today.
Hi.
And our co-host, Abaco, who's hanging in. What's going on?
I'm doing great. Happy Sunday.
You could sound like you interested.
I am interested. It's a great topic today.
If you'd like to call in during the show, remember the numbers to dial are 341-6673. That's 341-6673. Or you can send us a WhatsApp message at 816-8187. Or as always, hit us up on either of our social media handles. That's Facebook or Instagram at SLYTalk, all one word, SLYTalk. Today we are discussing leaving a relationship that bore kids with the apprehension that the kids will be mistreated or abused. It's a heavy topic today, guys. So we're talking about accepting the new woman or the new man in your kid's life, the new mommy or the new daddy, number 2. Abico, this is a tough one. How do you wrap your mind around departing from a relationship, leaving your kids behind for the other man or father?
This is a great topic. Being in a marriage or in a relationship is great, but this is the other side that most people don't address, and that's how to deal with a breakup, and after it happens, and how to deal with those kids, or how to address the new guy or the new female after this breakup. A question was asked from a texter or for someone who was interested in the show. They wanted to know, what's the time limit when you're supposed to introduce this, the new significant other to the kids?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have any idea on when or how long should it be?
I don't even, this is such a hard, I can't imagine having to leave.
But it happens.
My situation
really
to go to be, wow. It has to be hard for whomever it is that has had to do it before. So that's number one. Putting timelines on it is crazy because I can't begin to wrap my mind around what would be the appropriate timeline to give somebody for, being the father or mother of my kids.
Is it when the new, if you're comfortable with the new girlfriend or boyfriend?
Do you ever get comfortable though? Do you ever get comfortable with who is going to be managing your kids?
Well, it depends on
in your absence.
Well, it depends on who. If you're talking about you should be comfortable enough to introduce your kids to the new guy.
But it's not the introduction, because so for me, I'm the female that's on the outskirts. Yes.
Right.
So I'm leaving you.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right.
And you are cleaving to another female.
Right.
I now have to say, okay, Sai, this woman is going to be dealing with your kids. You have to respect her. You have to, and here it is. She's a junglist, and she wearing the highest heels and extra long eyelashes, and I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes. I'm not interested. What do you think, Jackie? How do you feel about that?
This is very difficult. I think that what would be beneficial would be if you would build a relationship with that person. And that's what a lot of people hesitate to do.
But you do realize that your eyes do the talking first. So when I see you, automatically I begin to formulate an opinion of you. If you look like a junglist, and I'm trying to train my daughter or whomever.
Let's define what's a junglist. Let's define that.
You don't know what a junglist is, really? Are you Bahamian?
Yeah. So you're saying if you see a conflict in standard or lifestyle, and so I get that part, but I'm saying if you are opposite to or you're opposed to the person, that's never going to carry over well for your children. So despite what you think of the person, if you try to build a relationship with the person, I think that that's your best start.
Well, I agree. I think you have to.
I don't know how the standards
because regardless if you like it or not, this person's going to be he's going to be in your.
Well, it's really
life.
It's it's the prayer of serenity. I mean, this is now something that you don't have control over, and you have to.
I mean, you do have control because some people stay for that very reason. People stay,
but that's
because they don't want to have to go through that.
But I agree. I mean, people
they
do
stay physically, but if your relationship is not really real, that means that your significant other will have other people in their lives, and those children still will meet other people.
Exactly.
That's the reality. So I'm saying, I think to keep things honest, open, transparent, I think the best thing to do is to accept this is the person that my ex has chosen, and I have to build a relationship with this person in order to show camaraderie between for the children.
I mean, I agree, because at this junction in my life, that's
where you are?
That's where I am. Yeah. And I personally think, I think it's a matter of acceptance that you have to trust that the person that you're with is not going to just introduce them to. I don't agree with people just introducing them to everybody.
Right.
You meet this person this week, come meet my child. No, I don't think it should be.
What do you think is a good timeline?
Yeah, what's the time limit?
I think
how long?
I wouldn't say let me put a timeline on it. It has to be a level of comfort and a level of maturity in your relationship. If you reach that point in your relationship where you feel that you and this person can go beyond the regular high-bye relationship, then I think it should be something where I think it's incumbent upon yourself just to introduce that. You don't have to introduce them as, this is mommy's girlfriend, or this daddy's girlfriend, or mommy's boyfriend. I just think, as a man, I would just, listen, okay, this is a soft introduction, even if it's with a group of people, if it's a group of family or group of friends, and I say, this is Sherron, and y'all do whatever, everybody's playing, but I wouldn't be so specific to say, let's go to the movies with my kid.
So coming from a male's perspective, and you having a daughter, how long would you take to want to introduce, because this world we live in is crazy, to another guy, and this man being around your daughter? You're not going to always be there with your daughter. So
I want to take.
No, because you remember. No, yeah, because
why would I
no. Yes,
What'd you say?
Which
listen carefully. Listen. What I'm saying is, you have a daughter. I have a daughter as well. And when we move on, and your ex find another guy, how long or what would it take for you to feel comfortable having your daughter around this new guy, seeing in the world we live in today?
Which is really, really a messed up world.
It's really down to a matter, like I said, of trust. I think in my scenario...
You can't just jump off and trust people, though.
No, I'm saying, though. I think it's the person that you're with. The person you was with, in this instance.
You sound like a political...
But you left this person, so it's obviously a reason why...
They had enough sense to be in the first place, so I would trust that they have enough sense when they leave me to know how to act. I ain't dating no junglist bobbits, so it ain't like she could be introducing them to every dude that come around bringing a conch snack.
Right.
I think it's gonna be, at some point she's gonna have some sense to say, you know what, I'm gonna find a stable.
Okay, yeah, so we have a phone call. Let's take a phone call. Hello, caller.
Hi.
You're tuned into SLYTalk. How are you?
Hi, SLYTalk.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, you was talking about people with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're small, yeah. Because sometimes when they get too grown, especially the boys, depends on the situation. If the male moving into a house with a female who has an elderly male, sometimes they tend to disrespect them. And
oh yeah,
that's a good
point. That's a good point.
You and my daddy, so
that question is coming up.
Normally, if the girl moves in with a guy, and it's a little different when it's female children, but when they're smaller, basically, and they keep seeing the same guy come around, eventually, even though they're stepdaddy, you must take them as the daddy.
Right.
The only problem comes is when the father, the real father, actually, after a while, starts to get involved in their life. And then they start telling them crazy things. And then
which is not good.
Then all of a sudden, they ain't been around all that time, so you've been around for 2-3 years, then the real father pops up and say, listen, God saved me and I want my children.
Right.
God saved him, but he ain't bring no money.
That's a good one.
That's one being the children's life.
Right.
All of a sudden he started putting warped thoughts in the children's head.
Right.
What touch you all is my children, you all ain't that one child, and all kind of
So it causes a lot of controversy, huh?
Yeah, so sometimes it's better just to leave that alone. I mean, even though you might, whatever, but when they're small, you get a little better chance of grooming them into the way,
Because they're more flexible.
When they're big, don't bother that.
All right, caller, is this your first time calling in?
I used to call into the show in the mornings, but it's my first time calling into the show.
So you're a regular 94.9 listener then?
Yeah.
Cool. What's the station? What's the station that gives you more?
Sure, no problem.
What's the station that gives you more?
More 94. All
right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean,
he's talking about kids that are older and how they pop off. They don't want to really be managed. They have a dad and they have a mom. They don't really want to be tamed at that age.
How do you deal with a child when you're coming into a relationship, a child who's disrespectful to the new person? How to deal with that? I mean, how do you deal with a guy, who's always just been his mother and him? Now this new guy is coming along. How do you deal with that?
I think go ahead. That's another issue. But I think that's a good point that the caller raised. The fact that age does make a difference. So that has to be factored in when you decide that you're going to introduce your children to somebody else. You have to think about the factors, their age, where they are in their lives, how comfortable they are with the situation, how they've adjusted. So all of those things have to be a consideration.
Back to the timeline, sometimes you meet the mother first and the kids, they discuss, but if, you haven't been introduced to the kids yet, so you build a great relationship with the mother, and then, after you get comfortable, then she said, okay, listen, I have a...
So it kind of messes up the situation if the kid's not a good kid.
And the kids wasn't introduced because she want to feel comfortable first.
But that's how it should be, right?
I'm saying
it should be. But what he's saying is, if you have a really good chemistry with this person, and then all of a sudden they introduce you to their kid, and it kind of goes warped.
Right, that's when things can go downhill quickly.
Right, because now you're threading on thin ice because this kid is not exactly
either a good kid have to deal with.
You can't say nothing to me. You're my dad.
Yeah, that could create a very bumpy situation.
So. This is another controversial issue here. What do you do when the new girlfriend wants your child to call their mother.
Whoa.
I mean, it happens. No,
Why?
It's real.
I don't understand why. What would be the reason?
Well, because I mean, you know, that's the reason is because she want inclusion. She want to feel a part of the race. See, you may not be aware of this, but
I guess this is one of our words.
I understand that it happens, but you know what? The mature thing to say would be, I would leave it up to my child. If my child feels comfortable, that's the mature thing to do.
But what's the real thing to say? I mean,
I am very particular about that because I don't have any kids, but I'm definitely going to be an active mother. Like, that's my child. So if for any reason a father of my child, we don't work out, whoever you have around my child, I do want to know. I do want to have a relationship with. Right. But I'm just trying to understand the logic. Why can't she just call you Miss Susan? At the end of the day, the child will be living with me. The child will be living with me. Right. You're only going to have my child on the weekends. The child will be living with me.
Hold on. Here's the logic.
Is there some sentimental attachment to the word mother?
The logic is, if she marries your ex, or they move in together, the child will not only be on the weekends anymore. Especially if you're joint custody.
Weekends.
Well, no.
But she's dad's wife. She's never mother.
Right, but,
exactly.
But
Miss Susan.
But hold on.
Susan.
But what if what if the children looks at her as, I mean, they've been a bond.
So then that means that she's obviously treating the kids very well.
I leave it to the child.
If they feel so
I leave it to the child. If my child feels comfortable, I won't get involved. But if it's something that
will it bother you though?
No.
It would bother me. It would.
Anybody who loves my child, I could appreciate, I could respect.
So you'll be okay with your child calling another woman mother?
If she loves my child and her have a good relationship, I cannot get upset. I'm not going to get mad at anybody who loves my child.
Can I ask you a question? I guess.
I don't think it's about getting mad. I think it's about I'm the mother.
Most women take, and most men alike, but most women take a great offense if ever their child calls another woman mommy to any extent, way, shape, or form. A lot of people take offense to that.
I think that's not the most mature way to look at it, though. I do like your perspective as far as she's saying that if her child feels the love from this woman to the point that the child feels so comfortable that she is also calling that person mother. She's saying that she doesn't have a problem with that. I think that's a very mature way to handle it.
Right.
I don't think that you should ever have a conversation with your child about calling someone mother.
Oh, no.
The father, I think,
but what I'm saying is,
preparing to leave. If the child at some point, after years, it's developed to the point that they feel that comfortable and they one day do that, I think that should be fine. But I don't think it's a conversation that you should ever have to say, what are we calling? Are we going to call her mother? Like, that's not a conversation anyone should ever have, in my opinion.
I don't think that's. I mean,
it's like premeditated almost. It's like I'm about to leave, so let's talk about this. That don't make no sense.
Unless I'm dead or something.
So hold on.
Even then, let it happen.
Hold on. Let's talk now. See, we're both died. So let's talk from the male perspective. How would you feel, your little girl, you watch all your life calling another guy Dad, hey, Daddy.
That had to hurt, babe.
My personal opinion, it wouldn't. See, it wouldn't hurt because of the type of parent that I am.
Okay.
If she feels,
what type of parent is that?
Sure.
I am
sure of what he is.
I know I am a father.
Okay.
So I know.
So he'll be
the father.
So one will be. So you be father, and the other one will be. The other guy will be daddy.
See, but I'm saying it's literally like I said. If her mother decides to marry someone, and that person is befitting of the role that she feels it necessary. And like I said, in some cases, it's the parents who force that. You know, her mommy might be like, you got to call him daddy, and more than likely, if the child.
Why is that though?
No, I'm saying. More than likely, a child would oblige to that request.
What if your daughter comes to you and said,
"Mommy wants him to call me daddy"?
Mommy told me to call him daddy.
See, but for me, in that instance,
you said that never happened.
It should never happen.
That's a forced action.
That's what I'm saying. It's forced.
It happens.
Like I have my stepdad. I don't call him daddy necessarily. I didn't feel like it was daddy. I mean, he did some stuff, but just I respect you. But it's not going to be to that extent, you know. But like I said, if she feels necessary to say, you know what, he's done whatever for me, and he's taking care of me, equivalent or It ain't gonna be better, but it'll be equivalent. So, to daddy.
So, ladies, what if your child or your daughter, your son come to you and said, listen, my father set me down and wants me to call Miss Susan, mommy.
Absolutely.
But Miss Susan, I don't want y'all to sleep. Huh? Pardon?
I think that would cause the child to rebel and really they would not bond with the person that you're in a relationship with now, because now you're trying to force a relationship. So just allow them that time to bond.
But listen to this though. I want to be real clear. A lot of women are very, very aggressive in these relationships with these men, especially when the men have kids. Let's say the men have the kids.
Just women?
I'm using it as an
analogy.
Men? Okay. I know of a lot of very, very aggressive, very strong women that make these men, listen, you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this. Like, they telling them, basically, you need to get your kids to call me mommy. Because it's disrespectful for you to... Well, you call it what
you want. You want to make your significant other happy, so you know what?
Sorry, the second part of that, Sherron, is I think that especially in this Bahamian society, a lot of women who get new guys like these guys to be playing the daddy role from their reach.
Yes.
My baby need Pampers. My baby. Where your baby daddy been all the time?
That's a great point.
Like, real
It's a subliminal way.
No, I'm saying
it's a subliminal way to get people to do things for you. Get the guys to do things for you. I could get some of these guys getting that, because if you got no kid and you're taking care of another guy's kid that ain't yours, obviously, then some of these guys feel obligated. They want to be daddy.
But tell me, don't you think that some men actually do it?
Yeah, I have someone who I know that's stupid enough that did.
Why you calling him stupid though?
No, not stupid enough, but he did it temporarily because it didn't last. You spending money on someone else's kid and then you go, like, that doesn't make much sense to me. I think if you're going to make that kind of...
So hold on. You do know when you meet a woman, you have to...
You take on whatever she got.
Responsibility as
That's right. And the same applies when a woman meets a man. You got to take on everything, the whole burden. So
let me draw a scenario for you guys. You have a female that is about to be married. So she's married now to a guy that has, let's say, 2 kids, right? She cooks for them, cleans for them, cares for these children like they are her own. The kids feel very warm and cozy with their new quote unquote mother. But the maternal mother has an issue with the wife, with the current wife, constantly making issues, constantly making remarks, throwing jabs, acting funny, trying to brainwash the kids against her. What do you do in a situation like that? Like, because you're trying to be warm to these kids and give these kids a good home. But if the father is not as assertive as he needs to be in that situation,
because remember, you have to pull him aside. You two have the kid.
So been there, done that. I don't think that it's that serious for you to focus on, because it's something that you can't control. It's outside of your home.
It is serious though, because when you enter into arguments with your significant other about these issues, it can get very
significant
steamy.
Other, what can they do?
Plenty. I'll tell you what we can do after this break. We're gonna go into a break right now. Stay tuned.
Real Talk Live has dominated the talk show scene for over 10 years. And the legacy continues. It's Real Talk Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Get your fill of not just any talk, but pure real talk. Right here on the only station giving you more entertainment. Call in with your opinion. Call in with what you want to say.
Just pick up the phone.
And dial 341-6673. 341-MORE. And if you're an Alive customer, all you've got to do is hit 9494. And you've got real talk. Real talk. Giving you more entertainment right here on More 94. The summer is here and G&M Appliances, located Charles Vincent Street and Robinson Road, is now fully stocked with 12,000 BTU air conditioning units at 13 fares, meaning less energy at a blowout sale price of $399. G&M Appliances carries all your air conditioning and refrigerator parts, compressors, fan motors, timers and valves, thermostats, and Freon gas, especially 22. While you're there, also check out their new showroom filled with dinette sets, coffee tables, bedroom sets, mattress, and box springs, washers, and stoves, all at low prices. Visit G&M Appliances, Robinson Road today, or call them at 328-2083.
Are you ready? Yeah. Let's get started. Time to get up. Good morning. Here's what you missed on the morning after show.
One girl asked me to move in with her after a week. What? She saw your bank account. You left her seat on the table. I was like, no, but I was going through some stuff. And she's like, well, it just makes sense if you just crash by me and get rid of that rent that you're paying up there. I'm like, wow. After a week? I'm like, well, maybe a week into the courting stage. Right. I didn't know her, but a week into the courting stage. Wow. I was like, you don't know me. That's exactly what I said. You don't know me. How you just gonna... I was like, anyway, I'll think about it. It took like 2 months and I was there. You did go? Yeah, I was short-lived though. Something's caught in you. You just didn't know. That's what it was. You just didn't know you was dating long time. Y'all give it down the morning after, man.
More entertainment is on More 94. Y'all shooting Big Al in the building alongside Kevin Sharp.net. It's the morning after show.
Get your dose of the morning after show weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Only on the station giving you more in the morning.
More 94.
Yes, go.
More entertainment. Go.
More 94.
The entertainment capital of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We built a better radio station to entertain you.
That sounds like a plan.
More entertainment is on More 94.
Want to ask a question or contribute to today's show? The numbers to dial are 341-6673 or toll free 1-242-300-6673. WhatsApp a message at 816-8187. And we're back. Our sponsors for today are the Giggle House. For that romantic evening without the kids, give them a call today. The number is 816-8171. If you're joining us if you're tuning in and want to be a part of the conversation, the numbers to dial are 341-6673. That's 341-6673. If you do have an iPhone and you want to give us a call, that call is free. The number is 9494-SEND. Go ahead and give us a ring. You can also send us a WhatsApp message at 816-8187 or hit us up on our Facebook or Instagram pages at SLYTalk. That's all one word, SLYTalk. We're discussing, stepping out of a relationship, thinking about your kids and, worrying about leaving them behind with the new mom or the new dad that their fathers or mothers may decide to engage with. Really, really tough subject, guys. And I think we were talking about, just before we left, we were talking about the women or men that are on the outskirts. So let's say, for instance, the mother or the father that gave birth to the child is on the outskirts now. And so the father or mother is on the inside with a new wife or husband, and those children are in that situation, being cared for very well. Whomever it is that's the new element to the situation is being very kind, very gentle with the children, caring for them like they should be cared for. But the maternal person or the maternal mother or father has the biggest issue with the relationship, so they force a lot of very negative influences on the relationship itself by way of poisoning the child's mind against whomever it is that they're dealing with as the mother or father in the situation, the new mother or father in the situation, which causes a lot of strain on the relationship itself. How do you deal with something like that, you think, Terrio?
I mean, personally,
it really does cause a lot of issues on the inside of the marriage that you just have to, though. You just started.
It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to affect that household.
Why? Why do you think it doesn't have to?
Because, okay, first of all, what I started to say was, if the ex of this biological person from the outside is no longer with them.
Right.
This ex cannot sit down and reason with this person, most likely. This is obviously an unreasonable, bitter person. There's nothing that they can do that they will listen to. They probably would use the attention to even make it worse. I think the best thing that so whatever you do in that household has to be within that household and not outside. So I think when a couple is showing love to each other and they're showing the children that in this environment you have love and you have care, I think what's going to happen is that's going to compete with what is being said. So if you're living a life of love with these children, it will be very difficult in the long run for them to be affected as that person had intended that they would be. That's my opinion.
I kind of would agree, and that's what I was about to say too. I think, if you meet someone, I'm going to guarantee this, most parents, as a dad personally, I would have my moments where I'd be like, who the hell is this new fella? What is he doing? Like, you would criticize everything, whether it's good or bad. You get to criticize. It may not be done as well as you do it, but whatever the case is. But at the end of it, what you do, it shows proof. Like, if your new stepdaddy or your mother still thinks your daddy sucks or your daddy's wife sucks, but I have to show, like, we gotta really show, we gotta be resilient and show otherwise. Like, what, when you come here, it's all love. You get everything you need. You get consideration. You get kindness. And when you go back home, you get the story about how we ain't that way.
But then, like the caller did have a very valid point. When he called, he said, having these discussions with the kids and treating the kids a certain way can be offset by the maternal person on the outside saying, she's just a this and she's a that, and all of this poison on the outside for children that are younger will take that on and treat you a certain way inside your home. You got to start. Then you have to think about, do I beat this child or do I spank this child because they're being rude.
Piggybacking on what you said, this is a great topic, by the way. But this brought up a situation with one of my colleagues. He got laid off, and the new guy was able to provide better for the kids financially. The guy was taking the child to Walt Disney World, places the child didn't go to before, and the wife. And he felt excluded because, of course he couldn't provide these things. Right. So he was really depressed. And the wife, the ex, wasn't making it feel, making him any better. Right. So how do you deal, or how do you help or address that in relationships when the wife or the biological parent, for whatever reason, financially is not in that place?
And these are the breaks. I mean,
that's life.
It is what it is.
You won't always. I think
he has to invest more time then.
That's what I'm saying.
If he doesn't have the money, he probably should invest time.
You value these material things over spending quality time and doing quality things with your kids. Your kids may like. I got my daughter. My daughter may love Disney and things and all, but she really values more time spent. If we do some fun stuff, that's all she.
There's nothing more powerful than love.
That's it.
So. This is a crucial question.
Before you set it up, but if you want to treat her to a shopping spree, by all means, go ahead. She likes to wear Benetton and a couple other brands that daddy might not want to purchase. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Feel free.
Right.
Another crucial situation that is not discussed as much is disciplining, or how do you discipline if you met a mother, or as for us, how do you discipline a rude child or someone else's child if you enter into this new relationship now?
Karate chop.
That's what I was saying, like when they're rude and disgusting.
That's for their biological.
Do you ever spank someone else's child?
I think
it depends on what permission they give you. It depends on how they expect you to deal with that child.
So
that should be a discussion that's had.
So as a mother, I mean, just say that you're the mother. How would you feel? Would you ever feel comfortable with someone else spanking or disciplining?
Listen.
No.
But what if What if the father gave?
No.
You said you just. What I saw someone said just said permission.
No.
So what if the father gives permission?
If the father gives permission, this is out of your control and it's nothing that you can do about it. I mean, people have to come to terms with the fact that only 50% of the rearing of the child I have control over. When that child is outside of my home, that's now under the leadership of the ex, and whatever they decide is what has to happen. That's just the reality, whether we like it or not.
I don't think I would be comfortable But go ahead, Annie. What do you think? I don't think I would be comfortable spanking someone else's child. I just don't. I think I would be very stern in my delivery and my words and my vocals.
How would you feel when your daughter or your kids come up to you and say, "Mommy, Miss Susan just spanked me for," and I told her I was sorry, I accidentally broke the vase, but she still spanked me anyway. How would you feel about that?
I think I would have to have a discussion with Miss Susan because I have a specific way that I discipline my child. So we would have to sit down and discuss, okay, this is how we discipline the children for whatever.
Remember, Susan's brought up differently from you.
No, but that's...
And the children might be in a home, not your home.
That, but the children came from me. So we sit down and we discuss, okay, this is how these children are disciplined. Wherever you come from.
But what if Miss Susan clap back and say,
No, you're trying to be devil's advocate.
What if Miss Susan, this is real, this is what happens.
Don't touch
what
the woman child.
What if Miss Susan comes back and says, listen, I understand these are your kids, but you're not here when they're being rude or snapping at me, and if they touch anything that I work hard for, they will be disciplined.
You know, some people who really do feel like they have a right to clap.
I hope you know.
If you get in line, because you under my supervision.
That's why we sit down and we discuss how a child is supposed to be disciplined.
Don't touch nobody's child. Don't touch nobody's child.
That's for you to say.
No. If at any point in time in my life I become a stepmother, I'm not going to spank your child. I believe in cut hip. I got cut hip. I believe in cut hip.
All over the
place. I will tell you this. If your child damages something that belongs to me, you're the child's father and the child's mother will then have to replace it. I'm not going to spank someone's child because if that mother says, Marcia, I give you permission, Keisha, I give you permission, Jane, I give you permission, that's different. So if you don't have the permission from the mother to avoid a problem,
someone just said 50% is only up to you. What if the dad gives the permission to his new girlfriend?
No. The mother.
Stay out that lane.
As a dad, here's something I would do, right? If I met someone that I felt I have a real interest in and I wanted to take something further marriage-wise, because I didn't give no girlfriend to my child in the first place. So if it gets to that point, then I need to have a discussion with her mother, my new person of interest, myself.
That's big.
And that's something that I have to say, listen, here is who I am with, this is what my plans are with this person, and I need you to understand that we're going to be raising her this way, and this is what it is.
All right, coming back to the real world, what if this mother, like, let's say you work a lot, you're busy. What if this woman is taking care of your child more? I mean, like, she has a child.
No, but that's why I agree with Annie too. Annie is saying that she would also have this conversation with the biological mother, and that's why we talked earlier about how important it is to build a relationship with this person, this new person in your children's lives.
But what if that is not? Listen to this story. So I have a texter, and her name is Jane. For today, and she says when the ex has not moved on, meaning the person on the outside of the relationship now hasn't moved on, they haven't found a boyfriend or a girlfriend out there is always a problem. My stepchild calls me mommy when she's with me, and my husband, but just because she calls me that because she feels at home here, but when her mother is in the area or around, she calls me auntie, which suggests that she's very petrified of her mother and me being her mother in her mother's presence. So it makes Jane feel very out of place sometimes because she's like, okay, well, I'm mommy when you're with me, but when you're with your mom, it's something different.
If I were Jane, though, I would sit down with that child and I would say, listen, it's okay for you to call me auntie all the time until things are different or until you get older, because I wouldn't want to groom that child to switching, and that's really deceptive, and to me, I don't like it. So I don't like it. So I think that it's dishonest to some level.
That's hurtful, though, to some degree. Like, if I am doing everything for you and
that's my point. What do you do?
But what you're doing does not entitle you to the title of mother.
Right.
And so I don't think that that's connected to what they call you.
What you mean? Hold on, let's back up. What you mean?
Okay, if I'm married to someone who has children.
First of all, I don't have any obligation to your kids. That's number one.
Let's pin that.
Yeah.
Go.
If I get married to a gentleman, he has children, and they come into the marriage. I have chosen This is my free will to treat those children as my own with no expectation. It's not conditional upon, okay, only if they start to call me mommy. So it's just a commitment that I've made to my family to be a mother to them in our home. But it doesn't matter what they call you, in my opinion. I mean, if it's uncomfortable for the child, I would prefer the child calls me one thing for the child to learn consistency.
Right.
Nope. That's my personal
right, but how would you if the child is calling you mother at home, right? And all of a sudden, whenever her mommy is in your presence or they're around, it switches.
That's evidence of a problem.
Right.
It's not much of a... No, let me say this, right? It's not much evidence of a problem, more or less really an identity issue. Because if I'm... let's be real. If me and Abaco dating... Well, if Abaco is married to Sherron, and then I get married to Sherron after the fact, Sherron had a baby with Abaco, right? Mm-hmm. And the child comes and says, hey, daddy, or to us, hey, what's up? No, not you. That's confusing.
I don't think that's the reason that she does it. No, because you have two Georges in a family and people they figure it out. So I don't think that the issue with Jane is that they won't know who to answer. I think that this is evidence of a discomfort somewhere, and I think that I would want the child not to be confused, and I would say, listen, it's okay for you. I know you love me. I know I'm like a mom to you. You can call me auntie until everyone's comfortable for you to say something.
Call you auntie though.
Not auntie. I don't like auntie.
So weird.
But I would want that person to call me one thing.
Just call you by your name. If any, I mean,
I'm just saying auntie because she's saying that's what she calls her.
I would not endorse you calling me.
I don't like auntie either.
My name.
What you doing, auntie? That implies that you're my sister?
No.
What type of incestual is this?
There's a place of respect that's required.
But auntie's not a respectful
name. I like Miss Susan.
By my full name. Like,
why can't so call you Smith then? What's wrong with saying Sherron?
I don't have problems with them calling me by my name.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but hold on. Let's no. You're not mistress, okay? You're not Mistress Sherron. This kidding. This is not formal boarding school. What I'm trying to say is this. No, what I'm trying to say is I think we need to get over that boundary because you were born. No, Sherron, let's get this point, okay? I was born with a name, okay? Mr. wasn't attached to it yet. I was born with a name to identify by. That's your identifiable name. Your name is Sherron. If a kid calls you, an adult calls you, it shouldn't matter. It's the respect that they give you. She's not saying, come here, boy, Sherron. But that's your kids. Because they don't know them. But your kids don't know them. Do you think if I was Uncle Terrio, okay, they would call me Uncle Terrio. You know why? Because they were familiarized with Uncle Terrio. They respect Uncle Terrio.
So you get them to respect him.
I got an uncle named Doggy. Do you think I don't respect him? I just say, hey, Uncle Doggy. No, seriously, that's his name. That's his literal name. That's what we called him. See, but I'm saying to some people that's offensive, but realistically, it's a real name. It's hilarious, but it's the truth.
So, this is another situation. What do you do? What do you do when you have a child who still wants their mom and dad to be together, and they lie on you? I had another colleague who had a situation where the daughter lied and said he touched her in an inappropriate way, and there's a whole to do. But when all was said and done, it was found out that she lied because she really wanted to break up the current relationship to get back. So how do you deal with something like that where the child lies on the new person just to try to break that up? I mean,
first things first, man. That's really big.
Yeah.
First things first, the man has to remove himself from the home. That's first things first. Until everything is sorted out, the man has to be removed from the home.
As any parent, the first thing you can do is believe your child.
The only thing I could do is pray that it's a lie. But if it is true, you as a parent, you're not a wife, you're not a girlfriend, you're a mother. Remove the man from the situation. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Let me finish. What if you're the victim and the child?
Then you should respect the person as a parent to understand that the safety of their child comes first. Your personal feelings have to be put aside.
Yeah.
An innocent person should understand and respect the fact that this person is a parent.
Okay, I get that.
Who is obligated to their child.
I get that.
Period.
But my question is, how do you then go back into the relationship knowing that this it possibly could happen again in the future? Do you feel comfortable now?
I'll say that.
If they lied on you as the new girlfriend.
Oh, well, guess what? Here's the beautiful part about it. You then now say, I love you, but I'll never put myself ever again in a position to ever be.
How is that possible?
It is.
If you still want to be with that person.
It is possible. It is possible. It is possible because
that's a strong position,
you are with this person. That does not necessarily mean that you are obligated to be a babysitter.
Hello.
Because if your child, hold on, stop for a second. No. A lot of times we get it mixed up. If a man, I'm dating a man, and my daughter says that he touched me, and by some miracle we are able to find out that my child lied, if that man says, look, I love you, I want to be with you, but I am not going to put myself in a position with your daughter, whereas it is only me and her inside a room where no other adult is present. I then have to respect that. Right. I have to respect that.
Secondly, I think the part that Abigail was really talking about is how do you then feel comfortable or comforted being around that child again? And in some cases, that can
you're going to be angry to some degree on the inside.
What should you do? How does one process that feeling, that emotion?
But you have to remember that you're the adult. You have to remember that you're the adult, and the child is only acting out of emotion.
I get that, but something as severe as that's it. Something as severe as that doesn't really go away.
So I want to go backward before I go forward, and I want to say though that to Marcia's point, I think that that's also an indication that that child was not yet ready. So I think when you find a child is in such an emotional,
they're ever ready though.
Well, sometimes, yes. Yeah, you can get them to that point, but I'm saying if they're to that point where they have to lie, I think that that's a child screaming out for, like, what about me? Everyone's moving on with their life, and does it matter that I feel this way? That's my opinion.
I don't know.
It's an indication that that child is not ready.
I'm 34, and when my mom and dad moved on, I still wanted them to be together. It didn't matter.
No, we're not talking about them wanting them to be together. Sometimes that's forever. I'm talking about someone lying. That's someone going to the extent of causing damage purposely in your life. They're destroying you on purpose. That's a child screaming for attention and saying, I'm not, what about me? So I think that that's an indication of a child who is not yet ready.
Ready for what?
To be introduced to this new situation. They're not ready yet.
So then how would you deal with that? Would you
how long do you put your life on hold? Because some kids may take years and years and years
to get over it.
So how long do you put your life on hold for this child? I'm saying,
you have a conversation with your child, and at the end of the day, your child may not want to get over it, but they will have to. But like she alluded to, you shouldn't be so quick and so anxious to have somebody else around your child anyway.
What if it wasn't quick?
But some people are. Some people are very, very
that's a problem.
Anxious.
That's a problem. And I'm going to say this. Mothers, fathers, stop being so
anxious
to find a new mommy and a new daddy. That's the problem too. Stop that. It's okay for them to just be Miss Susan or what? Uncle Doggy?
Let's call him Uncle Sam. Let's go with Uncle Sam.
It's okay.
Let's go with Uncle Sam.
I could be with you, but I don't have to be the mother. Why do I have to be the mother? Why can't I just be the wife or the girlfriend? That should be okay. And I think sometimes when we put pressure on the kids to accept this person as a parent, then lies come up, rebellion, attitude issues. I think that's a part of it. That's a big
it's an insecurity though. I think a lot of people
stop forcing relationships on your kids.
That they do it because they're insecure and they want to feel like they're in a relationship
so badly. Why would you rush to be somebody's parent? That's not an easy job. That's a heavy job. So why would you want to rush to do that?
So Sharon, let me ask you this question. If that happened to you, if someone lied on your name, and he wants you to move in after that, what do you do? She lied on you. She said you did something that you didn't do. Now you said it got up to the police had to come and investigate.
Because
of course, when you deal with when you dealing with kids, of course, when it comes to anything inappropriate, the police got to come in and check that out.
Right.
How do you really move on from that? If they call you out and say, well, she touched me, or she, how do you actually move on with a relationship like that?
I can't imagine. Listen to me. I cannot imagine that happening to any child. But you know, if it's not true.
It's not true.
If it's not
true. It was a
true.
lie, but. No, of course, they did the whole rigmarole.
I don't know how comfortable I would feel in that relationship anymore.
I probably would leave that relationship.
I probably would.
I mean, to be honest with you,
I think I would leave.
I think if that child goes to that extent to really mar my name or to get it, you can't really. I could forgive that child. I would love you. I'd love that person to death. But I don't know how I.
It's too much. It's too heavy.
No, not married now. See, but if it's a married scenario, if it's a marriage, no, that's what I'm saying. Regular relationship, no. No, but if I was married to a person, I think the first thing I would probably do is, well, number one, I think that, you know, your kid, if possible, needs to go live with daddy.
You can't push the child on the dog because you're
gonna push him out, but I don't want him near me.
Where you going?
To be fair, like I would want to be, I would not want to put myself in that scenario that child feels that is necessarily good to lie on me for any. I'd want to find out.
Let me tell you what I would do. I would sit that child down and have a very stern. I would have a stern conversation with that child. You mean as the biological parent? As the biological parent.
Oh, that's
I would sit that child down in front of the.
No, not in front of.
In front of.
You gotta do
because what you're doing.
First?
Because what you're doing is lying on.
I think just me and the child first.
If that child isn't going to be, listen, if that child goes to the extent of lying,
I pulling them in.
You don't think that you go and have a problem?
I don't need to prelude anything.
No, I would have a conversation with both parents, with the step parent and biological together after I first have a conversation one-on-one with the child. So I think it's a big step to say I'm going to leave this relationship, but I mean, I respect it. I'm saying for those who stay,
I don't think you're thinking about this entire scenario. You had the biological father. All of the PFH ready to fight you. You had the police, and you know, nothing's really too confidential in the Bahamas. And as a man, once that stigma's attached to your name,
that's it.
That's your child.
So when you leave, is the stigma still there?
I don't want to. I don't want it to happen again.
So I don't disrespect. I don't disrespect someone who chooses to leave, but for those who stay, I think that it may be important to take some time to deal with the issue, which means you may have to do some things without the child, have the relationship, you know, make some adjustments to address the issue, and then deal with the situation with the child.
Relationships are already hard, and to add layer onto this particular relation, I mean, the situation.
But what if this is your first test and you're the first thing you do is run?
This one, that test I failed.
That's your choice. If you choose to leave, then that's understandable.
But I think it has to be. I think before relationship starts, and I think this may be where things go wrong. When some parents aren't as open, if you don't have a real conversation with your child and your prior significant, either your baby daddy or your ex-wife or whoever it is, or your ex-husband, you have to be fair to that person. You have to be fair to that child. Okay. And if that person is beyond the realm of understanding to understand that you're going to be moving on and living or moving with someone else, then they got a personal problem. But I think it's incumbent upon yourself to still sit down and even have a conversation with your child. Listen, this is the situation between me and your mother, or me and your dad, okay? And now, this is what's happening here. This is a person that I want to introduce you to. This is what, but I don't think it should be something that you should force upon a child. And I think some people wait until it's too late to introduce their child to significant. And, you know, it's nothing like me introducing you to my significant when our relationship is beyond flourish and me and you all extra passionate and emotional, and then I got to bring my child around like, okay, here she is.
Yeah, but you don't want it to be too early.
No, not too early, but I'm saying to you, I think that as your relationship grows,
you have to have a good balance.
But your child you should make your child aware and have them be present. You shouldn't exclude them entirely, but I think that there should be pieces. Like I said, even if it's a group setting, that you bring that person around and just
subtle
little icebreakers, right? Because that person your child would be familiarized with that person to some extent. Even if you isolate them in a certain group scenario to say, you know what, you could just sit right here for a minute and they could talk and they could chill. The child may be none the wiser that the person is just significant or your potential is significant.
Right.
But it's the point of communication that they have some relation outside of here's a new person that you must get to know now.
And I think the child should be made to understand also that this person is not here to replace your biological parent.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's most important.
Yes.
I agree with that. I don't know how they would be able to digest it, but I do know that it's important for that discussion to be had.
What my final situation? What do you say to your new or your ex's new girlfriend or boyfriend when your child comes and said, "Mommy or Daddy, daddy's new girlfriend, kids are beating me up.
That's a problem.
No. I don't think sometimes it's not as deep as you think. Kids fight. Kids fight at school.
They do fight.
I don't think you should get in. But you shouldn't get in it unless it gets to a point where it's out of hand. They're going to be siblings. They're going to eventually become siblings, and so they have to get to a point where they have their own challenges and be able to diffuse those challenges on their own initially.
It still needs to be addressed though, because if
you can't address it initially though, you have to allow it.
No, ma'am, I disagree with that, because if I'm the baby, and if any of my big sisters hit on me, I would go and run to my parents, and they would address it. Because
but even with my kids,
what I'm saying is, and these are my biological sisters, these are my blood sisters. So if any other child goes and beats up on me, a conversation needs to be had, regardless. A conversation needs to be had. We talk with our mouths, not with our hands. So I don't know.
My question to that is, okay, so if the parents in the household, are you saying to talk with them, or are you saying with the biological that's outside the household, they should be brought into the situation, into the discussion?
She's saying that
the outside person?
Both.
If my child comes and says, Mom, my stepbrother, my stepsister is beating up on me, I am going to go to the father and I'm going to have a conversation. And that is fine, because if I have 2 kids...
Immediately?
Yes.
If it's consistent.
If I have nieces and I have...
talk to the whole family.
I have nieces and I have a nephew. And at any point in time, one of my nieces touch the younger one, I always say, that's not your child. You don't put your hand on your little brother, your little sister. You don't do that. So I don't agree with any child beating up on any child, regardless of if they're related or not related. I don't believe in that. I would address
this topic is so hard, guys. We have to, bring this back in at some point, because we have not even touched even the surface of this topic. I want to say thank you so much to my guests. You guys are so faithful and always here with your cute self. Relationships are so hard. Life comes with its fair share of challenges and hurdles. Sharing your kids is one of them. It's worth having that conversation and talk with your man or your lady about these things now. Although you don't plan to separate, these things happen, and boy, do we know how crazy we get about our kids. It's important to see things diametrically, to understand all points of view before jumping the gun. Remember to be fair in all your decisions and to take into account how hard it is for some individuals to cope with the thought of someone else mothering or fathering their kids. Until next time, people, love hard. I'm your girl Sly, and this is SLYTalk. You heard here today and want to be a part of the steamy conversations discussed here on SLYTalk? Like us, follow us, and join the conversation on Facebook or on Instagram at SLYTalk. Also, visit the SLYTalk YouTube page for today's show and previous SLYTalk episodes. Never miss another show.
More 94.